Hi. And this buddy says, we are back. And I just got myself a little drink of water and waited for this dog to stop barking. So let's get going. Let's get back to the story. You know, there is one thing I noticed. I went to save the game when I took a break because you know, of course I wanted to save it, you know, just in case. And I was thinking, wow, I used up a lot of save games. And I remember thinking when we first started playing the game, it said it had like 72 save games. And I was like, 72 save games? Like, who's going to need 72 save games? And I just realized that I've been using up a lot of them, so. Excuse me. Alright, anyway, so let's get back to the story. Lucette just wrote a letter, and now we're here, so we're back in the tavern. After I have the letter sent off with a messenger, I return to my work for the day. It starts first with Mr. Broom, then with... I forgot about Mr. Broom. Then with the serving. I look for Rumpel, knowing that it is now his time off. And I'm surprised when I see him sitting not with other women, but with Karma. The two of them are laughing together? What? I guess that advice isn't too terrible. That's Rumpel talking. This is Karma. I give the best advice, darling. I'm a man of the heart. Perhaps not as much as I am, but I can give you credit when it's due. What are you two talking about? Princess. Well, hello there, Princess. That was Karma, of course. Karma's mischievous smile confuses me. Even Rumpel looks surprisingly shaken. Really? What's going on between the two of them? Lucette, you did not answer my question. We are talking about matters related to the heart. That was Karma. Of course you are. Karma. I took it upon myself to impart valuable advice to Rumpel. You are giving Rumpel advice, even though you two were always at each other's throats? Huh. Even the bitterest enemies can become beloved friends. All it takes is a shared interest. I have no idea what you were talking about. But before I can say anything else, I am swept up by Delora, who calls me back to work. That was interesting. Love advice, huh? Things are actually getting interesting now that I think about it. The day goes on, and soon it is almost my break. I go to the front to see if the messenger has returned yet. Anise. Oh, Princess, there's a letter here for you. I did not expect a response. I open it up and stare down at the letter for a long time. Rumpel. Writing love letters to a secret lover, Princess? No. Rumpel appears behind me, his smile unusually small. He looks almost hesitant to be standing there. It is not important. I stuff the letter into my pocket and continue working. Is she not going to tell us what happened in the letter? Damn. Okay. Alright, be like that. Alright, for the rest of the day I ignore Rumpel. I did not want him asking about this letter, just in case things do not go according to plan. Oh, okay. There is some plan going on. He is obviously disheartened by my ignoring him, and his sadness only persists in making me feel guilty. I still think she should get Waltz to help her. That's what, This is not something he can know about, otherwise he will try to stop me. What was that? Oh, okay, some time passes. Almost everyone has gone to their rooms, including a very saddened Rumpel. The only people remaining are a niece and myself. Earlier, Waltz came in insisting that he speak to Delora and Parfait, and so the three of them are all off talking in the other room. Curiosity gets the better of me, and soon I find myself sweeping closer to the door. I edge it open quietly with my foot so that I can see what is happening inside. Well, if she was smart, she would just listen, but... Okay, so here's Waltz. I didn't think he was still alive. That's what Waltz is saying. Parfait, this is very troubling. Waltz, he must have used the glamour. But the fact that I didn't realize it was him, Delora, is that the princess I spot peeping through the door? No, figures. Leave it to Delora to see her. I try to hide, but all of the eyes in the room catch me before I can do so. Do you eavesdrop on people often, Lucette? I had no real reason to eavesdrop on them, besides my own curiosity. Parfait, it's no harm done, Delora. Lucette, are you almost done with your chores? Ever since that conversation with Parfait and Delora, I have noticed that the words Parfait and I speak to each other are strained. Delora, however, is unchanged. I expect sarcasm from her now, but she does not deliver. She simply stands still and looks at me somberly. I am. And what are you talking about? Hiding more things from me? Waltz, we're talking about the rumors that have been going around about the palace. What have you heard? I have a right to know what is happening at the palace. We would tell you if we knew for certain, Princess. Waltz sighs as he runs a hand through his hair. I know the timing doesn't seem right, but I really should show myself out. I have a show early morning tomorrow. He glances around at all of us. I'm going to excuse myself for the night. Good night, everyone. As he passes me by, he smiles. And you too, Princess. What was that about? Smiling, I mean. Okay, that was me saying that. That was me thinking that. Lucette, once again, everyone is being secretive. Delora, why the sour face, Princess? Are you worried about what happens to the people in the palace you cared nothing for? Delora. Okay, that was uncalled for. But really, though, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. Since you're here now, I may as well say it. I knew you for 1 year before I cursed you. I saw what your mother had done to you, and I knew I needed to undo the damage before your birthday. Why is she talking about this now? I called you cruel and wicked, and really, I knew that the way you were was caused by the way your mother brought you up. And when we talked about Hilda the other day, I was unfair in what I said to you. We all have to face reality, but... Delora pauses, looking surprisingly solemn. She sighs, then continues. Hilda, oh, that's right. Hilda is her mother, or Lucette's mother. Okay, I keep forgetting she has a name. I just keep on thinking of her as the tenenbaum bearer. Or mother, you know. I always knew you had some good in you. I saw it in you when you spoke to your dolls. You have a good heart. Oh, she's flashbacking to Rumpel. Many people enjoy flattery, Princess, and a lot of people are receptive to flirting. But nothing can measure up to a genuine compliment. Delora just complimented me? Well, she did, actually. And she did. Period. That's it. I mean, there's nothing to, Well, we have a choice now. We could either thank her, say thank you, or say nothing. But I'm gonna say thank you, because I think Lucette now is up to that level where she can say thank you for a compliment. Which is strange thinking about. I mean, that she was at a level where she wouldn't just think about it. If somebody ever complimented her before, her immediate reaction would be, they're lying, or, you know, they're trying to get something from me, you know. But now she can actually, I think she's starting to be able to distinguish a real compliment from just fake flattery, you know, or someone trying to abuse words. So, okay, let's say thank you. Out of all people, I did not expect Delora to compliment me. Not when she makes a point of always telling me the blunt truth. Thank you. There is no shock on Parfait and Delora's faces when they smile at me. I'm beginning to think you and Delora are alike. You're both stubborn and have good in you, but you hide it behind sarcasm. That was Parfait. Delora. Hey, Lucette and I are nothing alike. Lucette, I feel lighter somehow. Lighter? I do not know if I have forgiven Delora just yet, but her cursing me has led me to see many things I would not have seen before. I owe her nothing, but I am still happy, even if the truth hurts. Oh, Rumpel just appeared. Oh, what's this? Lovely little princess is in here with you two? Parfait. Rumpel, you're early tonight. Surprised to see me, beautiful? Rumpel's earlier anxiety is gone. He looks at me with unbridled enthusiasm. I heard the princess thank you from a distance. I heard the princess's thank you from a distance. The words are always most beautiful when leaving your mouth. So you are also eavesdropping. You two are very alike. Not at all. Rumpel leans towards me and smiles. My dream is to one day hear those words from you too, because you say them as gentle as the wind. Delora, if you're here to talk to Parfait about medicine, then I'm out. Lucette, you should leave too. Rumpel, well then, sleep well, beautiful maidens. Okay, we're back in Lucette's room. She left. She took Delora's advice and left. I quickly finished my chores and returned to my room, where I lay in my bed contemplating tomorrow. I cannot believe Bria wrote back to me. So she did write, Bria. Okay. Tomorrow I will meet with her, and hopefully she will agree to give me his journals. Now, what did she say? I'm dying to know what she said too. Like, I'm wondering if she promised her money or what, or something, like. Because I'm wondering, like, did Bria? I don't know. Bria didn't seem like she was like just having an affair with that nobleman because he was rich or anything. So I don't get the impression that she's like some money grubber or something that's trying to just go after money or something. So, Lucette, I hope this works. For Rumpel's sake. Here we are. Chapter 8. Chevalier. Today I am outside by myself. Okay, we're in the plaza. Outside the town plaza. Today I am outside by myself. I think if Parfait or Delora knew, they would do worse than scold me. I shuffle uncomfortably as I sit at the little cafe Bria told me to wait for her hat. A part of me is already convinced that she will not come. When I wrote her that letter asking for Rumpel's journals, as she responded so easily, I was a little suspicious, but I hate to do this. You're not supposed to end a sentence with a preposition. Okay, anyway. It comes out sounding very badly. Okay, when I wrote her letter that was asking for Rumpel's journal, she responded so easily, I was a little suspicious, but this is really the only chance I have. Oh, God, she's here. I'm actually surprised, too. I didn't think she would show up. I thought, like, she would do something. Okay, Bria's here. The only chance you'll have at what? Lucette was speaking it to herself, of course. Bria appears in front of me, not looking altogether unpleased, but still not smiling. Yeah, she looks a little angry. Nothing. I do not like her, but I'll have to play nice if I want to get Rumpel's journals back. She doesn't look like she has the journals on her, so... Lucette, thank you for meeting me out here. Bria takes a seat in front of me, her expression still flat. You asked me in your letter why I was refusing to speak to Rumpel. And then you told me you wanted to meet with me to find out why. Oh, she didn't mention the journals. You want the journals too, don't you? Yeah, she reaches into her bag and pulls out a few journals that I assume are Rumpel's. Oh, she actually did give her the Rumpel journals. So she does have them. Oh, well, she has a bag with journals in it. She's not handing them over yet, I don't think. I know in your eyes I'm seeing the villain, but I'm not the only one at fault in this relationship. Years ago, when I met Rumpel, he was, as he is now, flirtatious, charming, over the top, and yet his compliments still made my heart sore. His compliments may be shallow, but Rumpel is far from it. I pined after him for years. He was learning medicine, and I was studying to take over my mother's sewing shop. In the first years that I knew him, Rumpel always complimented my work, even though it was nothing special. He insisted we do trade-offs. When we started dating, he would offer me flowers and trinkets, and in exchange, I would sew him some article of clothing. Oh, I wonder if that's how he had that scarf around his neck. He's always wearing that sort of Scottish-looking scarf, like. I can see, she says it right here. I can still see he's wearing that scarf that I made him. Yeah, the green one with the stripes on it. That scarf was from Bria. We fell in love. Rumpel became a changed man, more serious. He became a doctor, and I opened up a shop. We were supposed to have a fairy tale ending, but... Her expression falls again as she looks absently down at the table. We saw in each other ideals that didn't exist. Love can be shallow, or it can be deep. I felt our love was deep, but in truth, I only ever knew the very surface of Rumpel. The surface? Bria. I saw his kindness, his charm, and his drive to do what was right. But then, as time went on, I also saw what that meant. I don't see how that's bad. I mean, maybe... The world is a place where only the strong survive. People are kind, but they will take advantage of those who are too caring. Those sound like Mother's words. I shudder as I think about Mother's pessimism, the same kind that lies in me. It is a realistic way of looking at the world, but it is also so dismal and cloudy that it is impossible to see any light within it. Rumpel helped a lot of people. Many of them were wonderful people, and I was always happy to see him do so much. But then, he started putting other people above himself, and because we lived together, that meant me as well. Maybe it sounds petty to you, but no woman wants to live in poverty. I look at her skeptically. In the back of my mind, I remember the convenience of luxury, and of so much money. I then recall the feeling of living poor on the streets and flinch. Bria. We had a house, we had a reputation. But Rumpel refused money most of the time. He helped lots of poor people, but he also tried out our wallets. And whenever I brought it up to him, he would smile, as if that could just get rid of all our problems. He made a name for himself as a doctor who helped the poor for minimal money, sometimes for free. And even when I told him we needed more money, he put other people first. So it was more than just her running off and cheating on him and just running around. I guess, hold on, I just want to reflect on this for a moment. You know, I mean, I guess that can be exhausting in a certain way. You know, if somebody starts doing that, you feel like you're second place all the time, and also that could cause serious problems in relationships. That's probably like the number one problem people generally have is money all the time. Or that certainly aggravates any other problems, you know. And there must be a certain, you know, anger and feeling like he's doing stuff for other people more than her, you know, like she must feel like there must have been a point where she felt like she was coming in second, and that he was always doing stuff for other people before her, you know. And it doesn't feel so much about the money as it feels like she wanted to be first, you know. I can see that as reasonable. That feels reasonable when you're in that kind of position, I imagine. And, you know, when you want to feel like, you know, that the other person comes first always, and, you know, it doesn't, you want to think it's always, but it didn't have to be always, but, you know, you want to feel like when it comes down to it, when it really comes down to it, that you'll be first, and you'll always be first, you know. And that you want to see that sometimes. And it doesn't sound like he was doing that. It sounds like he was always putting his patients first. So I think she began to feel like when it came down to between her and his patients, it was his patients first, which is, you know, admirable. But that's another way of also saying, if it comes down to, you know, between her and his own, in his profession, his doctorship, or his doctoring, then he chose himself. He chose his doctoring first. You know, you could look at it like that as well. I mean, you know, so, and I could see her being upset about that. You know? So, okay, let's get back to this. And even when I told him we needed more money, he put other people first. Okay, yeah. He was so selfless that he became selfish. Yeah, see, that's... And I told him before that he should have accepted money, that he needed it. So selfless, he became selfish. Yeah, she's right. I mean, that can be an accurate way of seeing it, that you could become so selfless that you're always thinking about you doing something for someone else rather than doing something for yourself too. So, okay, let's get back. Bria, I had to go behind his back and find payment. What I was making wasn't enough. See, so she's actually even going and getting work. Just to, you know. So I went to find his patients and tried to ask for payment. I became almost like a beggar. Can you imagine my humiliation? Rumpel puts his patients before Bria. I was convinced he didn't love me, and my love dwindled for him. Our relationship became strained. Bria goes on to explain the events that happened between her and the nobleman. He was one of Rumpel's patients, and when she went to him to ask for money, the money he had originally offered, the two of them became intimate. Okay. But it was short-lived. When the nobleman left her behind, Bria had to deal with her sour reputation. Well, okay. I wanted to make it up to Rumpel. I thought I could salvage this relationship. Maybe even start over and teach him what was right, but that is not my place. She's right about that. I mean, and I could very much see that, you know, yeah, I could very much see that happening, these things happening. She sighs deeply and then gestures at me. I share blame in all of this too, but so does Rumpel. That's why I've decided to let this all go. Whatever he does now, you'll have to deal with it. Because you're his partner, right? Bria hands me the bag of journals. And she was right, too, about, that he needed to learn that himself in a certain way. She could never just, it would never change him if she just sat there and argued with him. That would never. So, yeah. Bria, don't look so surprised. You came here for these, not to listen to me. I thought on it last night, and I have no reason to keep them around when they'll just continue making me bitter. I'll have to rely on myself for a while, but that's fine. Sometimes it's easier to keep to yourself than to trust others. That's sort of harsh, but she is, cutting herself loose from it and saying, here, it's your problem now, and she's going to go off and try to live her life on her own, so. She moves to stand up, but I surprise myself by reaching out to grab her hand. Bria, I don't need your pity. I thought the same thing. What? I still think the same thing. It is so much easier to close the world off. It is so much easier to trust no one but yourself, but it should also be a balance. That is what Rumpel has taught me. What I want to teach him how to have, and I want to teach him how to have balance too. You? You're falling for his kindness the same way I did. You fell in love with him even though you told yourself he was shallow and unrealistic. My heart thumps once loudly in my chest. Love? I could read it right off your face. I know how it feels too, but don't get wrapped up in an ideal, little girl. That is my warning. If you can help him actually help him, then you're meant to be together. But otherwise, trusting Rumpel might only break your heart. I'm not a little girl. I know how to be realistic. My words trail off as I look at her helplessly. Bria surprises me by speaking up quietly. Thank you for listening to me. She pulls her hand away and slowly smiles at me. It is the first honest smile I have seen on her face. I feel something warm in my chest, and then a bright light emanates from my necklace. Oh, did she get the next piece of her necklace? Good deed. For listening to Bria? Oh. I glance down at the bag of journals, then down at my necklace. Yes, she got another piece. I touch the pendant. The new piece brings a brief smile to my lips. I have 2 good deeds now. Only one more, and I can break my curse. Magic? Is this another fairy tale curse? That's Bria speaking. Yes. Your name was Lucette, wasn't it? Rumpel talked about you fondly. I hope that the both of you break your curses. Good luck. I think she actually meant it. Bria walks away, leaving me by myself in the town square. My mind swirls with everything that she just told me. I still cannot bring myself to like Bria, but I feel more closure now. I don't necessarily like Bria, but I understand her, and I don't think she's a bad person. But anyway, but now something new plagues my mind. How could I fall in love with someone like Rumpel? Oh, so she's admitting it now, huh? The more I say it, the more it becomes a certainty. But rather than fill me with joy, it only makes me more confused. I cannot think about this now. I turn on my heels to head back and bump promptly into a man. Man. Ooh. I know who this man is. Oh, sorry, madam. There's a man here, and he looks a lot like a man with a cane, with a wolf head, and a mask. He smiles at me, then keeps walking. I stare after him, feeling slightly uncomfortable. With the mask and the cloak, the man reminded me of a performer. I make my way back to the machine with a bag of journals, still struggling to keep my mind from wandering. Every time I think about Rumpel being so close to me, or his kindness toward me, I feel jittery inside. Despite everything that Bria said, I cannot stop these feelings. These feelings are annoying. Yet even as I think that, I know it is not the full truth. Do I really? I hear the machine's door opening, and out steps Waltz. The minute he sees me, his eyes widen, and he runs toward me. Princess, where were you? I was running an errand. I hold up the bag, but it does little to ease Waltz's frustration. We were all looking for you, and we got worried that the witches had found you. Rumpel already went out into town. What? I'll go. Please, Princess, stay inside. His expression softens somewhat, until all I can see in his face is worry. I'll go get Rumpel. Okay. Now, we're back in the machine in the common room, and this file is getting on much longer too than I was supposed to. And we're hitting on like 40 minutes now, so let's stop here. I just want to say a few words. That was pretty interesting, and that revelation. And I thought there was something more than what was going. There were two sides to the whole story, you know. Because she seemed very angry at Rumpel, Bria that is. So it made me think there was something else going on. Anyway, now we know, so. Well. Okay, now that we're back in the machine, this is a good place to stop, so we'll stop for now. And we'll get back to this. I thank you for listening, and I'm glad that you're here. And there's, you know, at least there's one good thing. I noticed my voice is, I think I can get my voice going a little bit longer than normal now. Normally it would break pretty fast. But, so I'm starting to feel pretty good about that. But, again, thank you for being here, and, I'll say, goodbye for now. And then I hope you return and continue, to find out what happens, so. I'm pretty interested. I want to know what happens, so. Because I think we're getting towards the end of Rumpel's route here. So, anyway, it's getting evening for me, so I'm going to say have a good evening, but maybe it's morning or afternoon or daytime for you, so I'll just have to say goodbye. So, and I hope to see you soon.